gorgeous, really. Hello everyone. Hope everyone's doing okay. How's everyone today? How you doing? My name is Aisha Hancox and I'm here to tackle the men's mental health. I will share some insights on how we can effectively support men both as individuals and as a society. I do apologize, guys, but my camera doesn't want to work today. So unfortunately, you won't see my lovely face. However, the picture that is up on the screen is actually me. So I'm just waiting for some people to come on the live to see how people are doing. Such a beautiful day today. The sun's shining. See how that's doing. Let's just hope it stays lovely and sunny, because the sunshine is definitely good for our mental health. So, right. I do apologise that I'm a little bit late. But here goes anyway. Because I'll be talking about, because men's mental health is very, very, very important, because they don't talk, you know, and they need to talk. So, well, let's get on with it. Are some key discussions that I will be talking about in this workshop. I will cover several important topics, and this is basically I do apologize. And this is basically, one is for an understanding of men's mental health. One is also key signs and symptoms to watch out for. The stigma and the barriers that men often face, which is very important. The importance of seeking help when they need it. And finally, coping strategies that can be beneficial. Forward to sharing these insights too. And we will have resources and support available as well. So let's just look at this picture. The statement, you can't spell mental health without. A very powerful reminder of the virtual role in the mental health conversation. This emphasizes that mental health is just as significant for men and for everyone. It's quite very important. Have you ever, or have you know anybody who has experiences phrases like "man up," "don't act like a girl," or being told real men don't cry by your parents or guardians or grandparents? If you have, you may find it challenging to express your emotions or discuss your feelings with others as you go through life. These messages, often communicated to encourage strength and resilience, can now have a profound negative impact on your child or children. These words shape their emotional development and may lead them to believe that vulnerability is a weakness rather than a natural part of being human. As they transition into adulthood, these ingrained beliefs can make it difficult for them to connect deeply with others or seek support during tough times. Now, this is very important because men are often told to, man up and, oh, you can't show your feelings and all this. And I think that's really, really disheartened, to be honest. And it's disheartened because men's feelings actually do matter. There's been too many people, especially men, who haven't actually opened up about their feelings, and they find it hard. But then things will start building up on themselves and they don't see a way out. So unfortunately, it can get even worse to the point of they could end their own life, which is not nice. Like this, men's mental health matters too. Now, I see this statement as very, very powerful because they do matter. Men experience emotions and feelings just like everyone else. It's essential to recognize their humanity and understand that vulnerability is a part of being human, and it's not a sign of weakness, because a lot of people do see it as a weakness, but it's not. Men's mental health is not a weakness. It's if a man asks for help when he's struggling, it's more like strength, because it takes a lot for anybody to ask for help when you are most vulnerable, and it's essential to encourage men to express their emotions and feelings without fear of being judged. At the end of the day, they're still human, the same as all of us. So they do need to open up more, because basically showing vulnerability is not shameful and it's not a sign of weakness. In fact, it demonstrates true strength, because it takes a lot to ask for help. And I know sometimes men don't ask for help because of their culture. It can be, it's against their culture to ask for help. They have to deal with it. But it's still strength when you ask. So let's promote a cultural where emotional expression is embraced and valued. Because if it's not valued, they're going to feel worse. And that's just so wrong. I just can't believe how wrong it is. I do apologise if you hear me sniffling. I'm just getting over a cold. And plus, hay fever is not my friend at the moment. So, yeah, there we go. Right. Now, understanding men's mental health. In recent statistics show that men face a range of mental health challenges. And it's fact that the three biggest factors causing mental health issues is work, which is 32%, finances is 31%, and health, if they have health problems, which is 23%. To foster a better quality of life, it is important to focus on the primary areas of concern that we face. Work-related challenges can be tough. And I suppose in a lot of workplaces, there needs to be an improvement in mental health areas. Workplace relationships, you could not be having, can't get along with anybody at work. So that needs to be worked on. With the financial side of it, it could be the fact that you're not financial literacy, and budgeting, you haven't got any budgeting skills. See, that could be a major thing as well. So it's, really, really important for whatever you're going through to seek the help you need. Because let's face it, me personally, a lot of people work on their physical well-being, right? They're prioritizing their physical well-being. However, they're not prioritizing their mental health well-being. So both are very important, you know, encouraging to adopt healthier lifestyles and seek appropriate support by proactively addressing these key areas, we can make meaningful strides towards a more fulfilling and balanced life. Because let's face it, a lot of men, they go to the gym and they work on their body. You know, do a bit of a just do a bit of press up here and weights there and stuff like that, and they're happy with the way they're progressing in their physical appearance. But you need to work on mental ability as well, because physical is important, don't get me wrong, but mental health, your mind, is important as well. You know, you need to look after that. You need to invest in your mind, because if you can invest in your body, in your physical appearance, then surely you should invest in your mental health appearance as well. So it's something to look into, and it's something to think about, guys. It really is, because mental health is a big thing. And, you know, 40% of men avoid discussing mental health with friends or family. And it's because of the stigma that surrounds men's mental health. So, you know, it needs to be sorted. This needs to, you know, let's break the stigma around men's mental health and get them to open up and seek help when they need it. Because I can't stress enough how important men's mental health is. I mean, here's some signs and symptoms to look out for. One is increased anger, irritability, or aggression. You know, could be a bad day at work. Some people, they go to the gym to get the anger out, which is fine, because at least you're getting it out somewhere and not on anybody, you know. But then there could be mood swings. One minute you're fine, next minute you're down, you just feel worthless, have difficult sleeping, where you're trying everything to go to sleep, but your brain won't switch off because it's constantly on the go. Constant low energy, where you feel like you've got no energy to do anything at all. Sometimes not even going into work you can have low energy because you just can't be bothered to go work. You're just having an off day. And yeah, everybody gets off days. And that's normal to get off days. But if you start seeing a pattern, then that's where you need to get, you know, the help you need. I mean, obviously, first go to your GP and get as much help from them first, and see where it goes from there. Avoidance of social events or activities. If there's times where you've been invited to a party or a social event, family event, and you've cancelled at last minute. If you do that quite frequently, that's one of the signs as well. Not interested in the activities like you used to be before. For example, it could be the fact of you enjoy doing sports, but now you don't want to do sports, or you enjoy drawing, painting, and you've stopped that now. You've enjoyed playing an instrument or some sort, and you've just lost interest in it now. That could be one of the signs as well. Here's another one. Drugs or alcohol addiction, which may be used as a coping mechanism. Now, don't get me wrong. I get it. That sort of like everyone, likes a bit of an alcoholic drink now and then, which is cool. And then, but the downfall of it is, yes, it's a coping mechanism, but it's worse for your mental health because it can turn it into like a you'd probably see it as like medicine at one point, but too much alcohol, one, it's no good for your mental health if you have too much, because it's not good for your brain. You start losing your thought patterns. You can start losing it. I mean, that is a big thing with alcohol or drugs. But I will do a live on that on some point because I know that is a lot for a lot of people, which they do use it as a coping mechanism. Because I do know someone, one of my friends, and a mutual friend of a lot of my friends, and he suffered from mental health really badly. I'm not going to mention his name because it's confidential kind of thing, but it got that bad that unfortunately he took his own life. And he took his own life last year. So, he got to a stage where he was drinking and drinking and drinking. And it was just a spiral. It was just a spiral that just never ended. His friends tried to get him to have the help that he needed. I even tried to reach out to him myself. But there was no helping him because the downfall is you can't help somebody who doesn't want to help themselves. um, unless people can help. If they want the help, they've got to put in the work to get the help. They've got to make the first step. And the first step would be calling balanced minds. And, that's the first step. And that's the biggest step that anybody can do. So I just think it's really, it is hard. And I know taking drugs and I know alcohol is a really big issue. And I know it's hard once you've got that addiction. But please just seek out help. Or if anybody else knows anybody who needs to seek help, get them to reach out. And lastly, declining personal hygiene. That's another symptom and sign. They don't want to wash. They don't want to wash the hair. They don't want to wash anything. They just want to sit and do nothing. But then again, even though I say personal hygiene, it can be the fact that personal hygiene could be fine. However, if there's a property and you know that normally they are proper clean and all this, and things start building up, like rubbish in the corner or rubbish piling up in the kitchen, dishes piling up, washing piling up, that's another sign of depression. That's another sign that someone needs help. They're not dirty. They're just, their brain's not in it. They're not dirty, they're not messy, they're not scruffy, nothing like that at all. They just need that little bit of help. But just make sure you check on your friends as well. Because checking on your friends through a message, it's all right. But if you can get to your friend's house or anything, it's good to keep check on them. Not every time, so they think that you're a stalker. Obviously, checking on someone is very important as well. Be mindful of these indicators as they can signal underlying issues that may need attention. So it is important to look out for some of these signs. And it's important to check on your friends as well. So a little heads up kind of thing. So, and it's continued. The signs and symptoms are continued on this one. Like I said before, however, with all the signs that I've said already, however, not all signs are clear in men at all because they're very good at hiding things. They're very good at hiding their emotions. They're very good at hiding if they need help. But it is important to seek help when you need it. You're not on your own. And there is strength within you to overcome any obstacle that may come your way. Because it's really important. Yes, life gets tough, and when life gets tough, yes, you feel like you're alone and you're the only one going through it, but you're not. There's a lot more people out there that are going through it. Even celebrities go through it. Musicians. Musicians actually use music to get their emotions out through their songs. You know, there's a lot of musicians that do that. The main thing is to stay positive and keep pushing forward, as there is light at the end of the tunnel. There really is, because it's important to get help for your mental health when you need it. I mean, some men might not even see it, that they have a problem with mental health, and that's fine. But if anybody out there knows, if there's somebody that they know that's going through this, then get them to seek help, because it is really important. I can't stress how important it is. So now let's talk about the stigma. The stigma around men's mental health. Oh my gosh. The stigma that surrounds men's mental health exists in many, many, many forms. One is there's a public stigma where everybody in out and about, when you walk in the street or walking to go shopping, there's a stigma around how the public see you and all that. There's also self stigma. And self stigma is, and you have that little voice in your head saying, "Oh, you're no good. You can't do anything right. Why should I? I don't need help. No, I don't. Mental health isn't good for me. I'm not going to go and seek help that I need," and stuff like that. Also, there's stereotypes, prejudice, and discrimination. Now, there is different types of discrimination, and there's different types of stereotypes. But we need to eliminate harmful attitudes around men's mental health and create a society that values and supports mental well-being in men. Because I know there's not a lot out there for men there's to gain access from. Some men don't even know what number to call, because there is 24-hour numbers, but sometimes they didn't know about them. So it's something that's sort of like, got to get rid of the harmful attitudes around it. Many men struggle with their mental health, but they often stay quiet due to the stigma that surrounds it. And this is because they are scared of being judged. And like I say, a lot of them see it as a weakness to seek help. but it's not. A sign of strength is to seek help when you need it. That's the sign of strength. We definitely gotta get rid of the stigma around men's mental health, especially public stigma. I mean, it's not so bad now as it was years ago, granted, but it's still there. We need to shrink it more. We need to get rid of it. The only way we can get rid of it is to help each other, you know. So let's try and support mental health in all people, even men. Now, barriers. This is another one. Men struggle to express their emotions openly. This is because from an early age, they were socialized to suppress their feelings, and you can't show if you fall over as a child, as a lad, you cannot show, oh, it hurt. You can't show feelings. You can't cry. You can't, basically, you shouldn't have any emotions. But that is conditioned into them growing up, because obviously different generations deal with it in different ways. This conditioning often comes from societal expectations, and equate emotional vulnerability with weakness or shame. So basically, for a man, if they show their vulnerability, their emotions, so to speak, a lot of people would say, God, you're so weak. Just man up. Or, oh, I'm ashamed of you. I don't want to be around you because you're crying a lot, and or things like that. And it's like, nah, man. It's okay to be vulnerable. And I know as children, you may have heard the phrase like, big boys don't cry, or been encouraged to toughen up. And this is leading you to believe that revealing your true self is not only unacceptable, but something to be embarrassed about. Me personally, and I know a lot of my friends would agree with me, it's not an embarrassment, and it is acceptable to show your feelings. This is ingrained deeply in the belief system, which creates a barrier that makes it challenging for men to share how they're feeling. Because if they show their feelings, they're going to be laughed at, so they don't feel safe or supported in the environments that they're in. And that's wrong. you know, you should be able to feel safe and supported in any environment that you're in. But just remember that you're not on your own. There's a lot of other people that are in the same boat as yourself. Now I'm going to go on to importance of seeking help, how important it is. Because seeking help is the biggest step ever you can do. It is critically important for men to recognize when they are struggling. Because I know some men don't see that they struggle, or they may see a glimpse of it, but they think, no, I'm all right. But then you leave that and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it gets to a point where, oh, I need help. So always seek help as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Never ignore emotional or mental health issues, because ignoring them can lead to increasing serious consequences. And you know what I'm going to say here. And these consequences, the seriousness of them, it's a higher risk of developing addictions to substances like drugs or alcohol. And in severe cases, untreated problems can escalate to the point of suicidal thoughts or actions. Men, you must understand that reaching out for support, whether through therapy, counseling, or talking to a trusted friend or family member, can make a significant difference in your overall well-being and quality of life. It really will. Take the first step towards getting the help you need for a healthier you and a better and brighter future, with just certain little bits of coping strategies. It's really important. I can't stress to you how important it is. I do have a Q&A. However, because my camera is not working properly, if you'd like to comment below the video, and I'll ask the questions as much as possible, and I will try my hardest to provide the best answers. You can either do it on my YouTube channel. Give me some questions on YouTube channel, because Balanced Mind is on YouTube now. So you can give us a shout there, and I'll try and answer as many questions as possible. That's not a problem. However, if you have questions and you don't want to put them on YouTube or Facebook at the end of this video, that's totally fine. You can WhatsApp us and I'll answer your questions there as much as I can. Um, so you're more than welcome to do whichever one is easiest and best for you. Okay? And I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. And don't worry about what the question is. No question is a stupid question. So never say, oh, is it going to be a stupid question? No, just ask. And I'll answer it the best way I can. And I'll guide you in the best way I can. So that's something you can actually like think about. I mean, you can listen to the all the way down to the end of the video, and you may not have questions now. You may have questions once the video is finished. When you get all the way down to the end, that's fine. So, you know, do the best that you can, and I'll get back to you as more as I can. So let's get to the next. Now, here's some success stories. And, you know, you wouldn't believe that sort of like Brad Pitt. What's he got to be depressed about? Well, with everything that went into in his life, you know, he even said himself, you know, I just started therapy, and this is from Brad Pitt himself. I love it. I love it. I went through 2 therapists to get to the right one. So make sure that if you need one, find the right one for you. Because, you know, every therapist is different. And like he says, he spent much time avoiding the feelings. But now he has no time for that because he got the right person. So even celebrities reach out for support when they need it, you know, reminding us all that we're not alone in our struggles. So just remember, anytime you think, okay, I'm struggling here, just think a lot of celebrities have been where you are. You know, I mean, there has been a lot of celebrities like Robin Williams. He was the happiest person. He always or laugh on the TV screen with all the films like Mrs. Doubtfire and stuff, and Jumanji, and more. But he committed suicide because he didn't get the help in time, which is a shame. But there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Michael B. Jordan, he asked for therapy. And you wouldn't think he'd ask for therapy, but he even said, this is his words, honestly, therapy, just talking to somebody, just helped me out as a man. You get a lot of slack for it. I don't subscribe to that. Everyone needs to unpack and talk. And this is because many men silently battle their mental health struggles, often feeling too ashamed, fearful to reach out for help. This deep seated reliance can have consequences, lead to tragic outcomes, like I said before, suicide. And you imagine how the people around you would feel. I know a lot of people don't think that at the time because it's something that's just drummed in their head. And I get that. Like when a man chooses his path in life, he doesn't just end his pain, it leaves behind a wake of devastation for family and friends who are left to pick up the pieces. They are left with unresolved questions and profound grief, wondering if they could have played a role in offering support and encouragement. You know, and when I say a man chooses this path, a man chooses suicide, then that's the backlash of the suicide. Unresolved question: why did he do it? Is there anything we could have done? A lot of why. We must create a culture where seeking help is seen as a sign of strength, not weakness, so that fewer loved ones have to go through that heartache of losing someone, mental health struggles. We must advocate openness and understanding, showing those who are suffering that they are not alone, and seek the help that's out there. Help is available. You need to seek it, and that's the most important thing. You can seek it. Here's some strategies. Now, I'm hoping this helps. I know some of these strategies, they help me quite a lot. See, with us, Balanced Minds, we are dedicated to providing compassionate ear and unwavering support for your mental health and your mental well-being. We will give you some coping strategies. If they do not resonate with you or prove effectiveness, that's fine. We will try others. One's to do with listening to music. Listening to music can help express negative emotions. Writing a journal can help you express how you're feeling daily if you don't want to speak about it, because I know a few people who don't like to speak about it because they get emotional. That's totally fine. Write it down in a journal. Do a journal, even if it's just before you go to bed or first thing of a morning. Journal everything. I mean, I think the best way to do a journal is on a night time, just before you're um, unwinding, before you go to bed, because then everything that's racing in your head, if you write it down in a journal, you can write everything, whatever you want to write in your journal, how the day's been, what type of day you had, how you're feeling, anything. It helps your mind get quieter, and then you'll have a better night's sleep. But a journal does help a lot because there's a lot you can put in a journal that you can't say verbally. So I do stress to try and do a journal. Uh, Engaging in activities that bring you joy. So me, it would be I love dancing. So I'll put music on and my activity is dancing. Some people would say, oh, walk in a park, go for a walk, um, play football, anything. So always do something that brings you joy, you know, even if it's playing, do some activities with your children. Kids always bring us joy. You can practice mindfulness. That's another one. Um, some people have tried that and it's not helped, which is fine because it's not for everybody. Everybody's different, and that's one of the reasons why Balanced Mind with us will do a personal therapy sessions because it's personal to you. Make enough sleep, so you go to bed next, I don't know, 20 minutes earlier, something like that, or however earlier you want to go, and see how that progresses. But most importantly, remember you are not alone on this journey. There are people ready to help you through challenging times because your mental health matters, and seeking the right kind of support is a courageous step towards feeling better. So always seek help when you need it. It's really important. I can't stress how much importance it is. However, I do have some resources that I'd love to share with you. And here's some resources that I hope can help somebody. I mean, you can write these resources down. I do really encourage you to take a look at all of these valuable resources because it could help you or it could help somebody else that you know who's going through this, you know. So please, I will put one thing I will add is that these resources I will put on at the end of the video. I will put them there so you can click on them that way as well. Also, they will be on my YouTube channel as well under this video, so you can always get to them. I'll share my Facebook group, Balance Mind, and that way anybody can get the support they need, because I think it's really important that men need the help that they need and get the help that they need. So I will put them available so anyone can click and have a look and see if it helps them or if it helps somebody else. So now we're coming to the end of Facebook. Coming to the that's me, that is. To the end of my video. I'd love it if you could subscribe on YouTube for more videos. There is a lot more videos at the moment, but you'll see my lovely well. But hopefully by the time my next live comes up, my video, I just want to express my gratitude to everyone who joined me. Thank you so much. It means a lot, and we need to make a difference. So let's make this difference. So I will bid you goodbye. Bye.